Welcome
Say
back,
okay,
Beans
Ryan.
Army, to another episode of the Less is More Sports Podcast, the college off-season podcast, where you could say we're less of the regular season, but more of the off-season. I was really contemplating getting on this podcast today and bragging about how I predict the future. I don't know, I feel like I've done it too many times in the past week, but no, screw it. I'm going to do it one more time. I predict the future on this show. This is why y'all got to tune into the Less is More Sports Podcast. I said on the show that James Franklin should go to Virginia Tech, and that is exactly where he went. This is why y'all got to tune into the Less is More Sports Podcast more often. And I'm getting no reaction. My co-hosts over here are like, no, we're done with you, bro.
We knew this was coming. We set it apart in the outline for this episode.
Well, let's just like give
That's like,
away our entire plan, like our entire outline into the
I didn't
audience.
say anything else that was on the outline. I just
He's
said we
leaking
had less.
he's leaking information, bro.
Oh Lord, I'll start posting it like that girl posts like her meetings with her dad's friends or whatever.
I have
Have
no
you
idea what you're
seen
talking
those?
about. No, I haven't.
Oh, there was this really popular account during 2020 where this girl would post like everything her dad and his friends talked about at Buffalo Wild Wings. They had like an itinerary for their entire like time together. We're not that bad, but
Yeah, I think I blame Ryan on that one. He be like randomly talking about stuff we say in the group chat. I'm like, dog, why are you leaking all of our secrets to the whole world, Ryan?
it's
That's
true.
that yeah, that's that young boy mentality.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think
I
so.
know so.
No, I don't think so.
Apparently, I'm fatigued. That's why Matt's name is Fatigued Less.
Yes, we that's one that I'm not spoiling for anybody.
Okay, well,
You had to be there
I,
for that.
listen, I can spoil it. I mean, I played basketball for about 2.5 hours yesterday. My legs are tired. I may or may not be wearing Cookie Monster pants right now that are very comfortable, by the way.
At least it's Cookie Monster, not Bert.
Were you wearing basketball shoes?
No, I'm wearing Adidas slides.
No, to
Ooh,
play basketball.
Oh, yeah, yeah, duh.
I say Les has no ankles if he's wearing those to play ball.
Well, he just asked me, like, I was talking about what I was wearing now, and then he goes, "Are you wearing basketball shoes?" Like, I thought he meant
I
like
meant
right
well,
now.
I said were, but I don't think you heard that. It's okay though.
You be mumbling. Sometimes I don't be catching everything.
I don't think my
Bumble.
mic is the best.
Yeah, do you even use a mic anymore?
Not anymore, but I mean, I could go like bust some cobwebs off of it and use it. But
I could make a comment there, but I'm going to avoid that. But anyways, yes, James Franklin is now the new head coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies, and this move made a lot of sense to me because it's a program with not too high of expectations, not too low of expectations, and they're in a similar recruiting region to Penn State. So I think this is a perfect fit. But obviously, I have two other co-hosts on this show. So Virginia Tech does hire James Franklin. What now, Matt? I'll start with you.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of like you pretty much said everything that needs to be said about the move with that. But we'll dig a little deeper, which is if James Franklin does what he did at Penn State, at Virginia Tech, it's going to be a whole different narrative than it was at Penn State, obviously. Like you said, the expectations are high, but they're not national championship level yet. So if James Franklin wins at the level he did at Penn State, it's kind of like what we talked about a few weeks ago with Kirk Cignetti going 6-6 every year from this point out. If he did that, he'd still be the greatest coach in Indiana history. If James Franklin does what he does at Penn State for the next 10 seasons at Virginia Tech, some people will still probably love Frank Beamer a little more, but it's going to be a hell of a tenure in a wide open and increasingly wide open conference. I mean, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. Yeah, I'm spoiling the whole show, Les. Deal with it. But the ACC as a conference has just seemingly gotten more and more wide open each year. And increasingly, it looks like Florida State's going to open up. I don't know if you guys saw that game, but yeah, if Mike Norvell keeps going, I don't know how the hell he's going to losing to North Carolina State like that. Bill Belichick's not really panning out the way we expected him to in Chapel Hill. Clemson is the Dabo Sweeney era on the downturn. Louisville, good, but weird. They can beat you if you're a top five team, but if you're anywhere within like the middle of the conference, you have a shot. The ACC is a weird conference. And when you get a guy like James Franklin in there who was consistent in the Big Ten, even if that consistency included losing a lot of top five matchups, which you don't get a lot of in the ACC, mind you, you're going to be pretty well off in that league. I mean, I don't know if it ends up being a championship type every year type thing, but you're going to at least be in the hunt. You're not going to be confused about where you stand in the league. And like Les said, this guy's got ins with guys Penn State was recruiting. They've lost a couple of them to other schools, but he knows that DC Metroplex area very well to get him down to Blacksburg. I think it's about as close to a home run as you can get. I know there's going to be a lot of negativity given the way it ended at Penn State, but this is not Penn State. This is a completely different animal. Literally, this is a Hokie, not a Nittany Lion. And I think that this is setting up for perfect amounts of success for James Franklin because you don't have to do anything incredible. That's not what the fan base demands here. You just get to be you, and you're not a Vanderbilt where it's like everyone's shocked you're winning. You have those advantages to you now, with you now. So I think it's a home run hire. I think they're going to be very good. The ACC is a weird conference, and they've got the one thing that it seems to be lacking right now, which is consistency. They're even maybe going to keep Brent Pry on the coaching staff doing defense, which is what he excels at. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a great move.
Before I get to Ryan, I just have to ask Matt one question. What even is a Nittany Lion?
It's a lion that likes to knit.
That is very talented. I didn't know, like, I thought only chimpanzees could do stuff like that, but apparently if we got lions being able to do that, man, evolution is a crazy thing.
Like
Now, me and I think I caught Matt off guard with that one, but now me and Matt both believe this is a home run hire, so we're 2 for 2 right now. Ryan, do you think this is a home run hire, or are you going to dare to be different here?
I was actually going to say the same thing. I think you all stole my notes before I made them about like 10 minutes ago.
Well, okay,
Um,
I'm going to stop you right there. Like I said this before the hire even happened, so there's no possible way I could have stolen your Matt.
I'm pretty sure I heard other voices.
Matt, now
Not the
Matt could have stolen your notes.
I'm
maybe.
not saying.
Oh,
I mean, he does have
I'm,
a I don't want to say it wrong on your hat. I was gonna say it. Yeah,
guess,
whatever.
guess. Just guess, Ryan. Just guess.
I mean, it looks like buffalo, but
You're correct. It's Buffalo, the
yeah.
Mac Buffalo, Buffalo Bulls.
This is why you
okay.
shouldn't second guess yourself,
I
sir.
was gonna say a bull, but then but I knew it was buffalo though, so I didn't know if they
You
were.
got it. Yeah, you did. It's the Buffalo Bulls out of the Mac. I found it at Ross, and I had to have it.
No, it's a nice hat. I like that.
Thank
I,
you.
I thought Ryan was going to go full WWE mode and say it was the Brahma Bull that was on the That was the Rock's tattoo on his shoulder.
Oh my god.
Or the one, yeah, okay, all right, never mind. But yeah, I think this is an absolute home run hire for Virginia Tech and like Matt said, they could add Brent or they could keep Brent Pry along the staff because I mean he's worked with James under James Franklin before at Penn State, so um, he's 125 and 57 in his career, 8 and 7 in bowl games. But yeah, he just has that consistency and there's not a lot of top five matchups in the ACC that he has to deal with. So he can recruit and win in that conference because the conference is significantly easier than the Big Ten. And I feel like right now he has got little to no pressure. Like Virginia Tech fans, if they don't know a lot about James Franklin, you've heard a lot of good things, unlike Brian Kelly, which he has nothing to do, but you haven't heard about good things about him, but you've heard good things about James Franklin and how good of a person he is and a good of a coach. So, and one last thing, Virginia Tech has a great fan base that can rally around James Franklin. I mean, they always show up. They're showing up right now when they were god awful. So they're going to rally around him, and I think it's a recipe for success for James Franklin, and he can have a huge impact on the ACC conference.
I'm actually going to disagree with Ryan on one thing that he said, and I think Brian Kelly does have a lot to do with this move because, like you said, we're hearing the difference of opinions from players in the back of between the two coaches. Like we're hearing Brian Kelly how bad of a person he is. We're hearing about James Franklin how good of a person he is. I'm not one to say that that doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like if you're a coach, you have to be best friends with all your players, but being a good person, having players comfortable that you have their best interest in heart does matter in the coaching staff. I mean, we see it time and time again throughout the college sports world when you have coaches that, feel like they're don't have their players' best interest in heart, like players don't play hard for them. So I think that does matter. But
Yeah.
moving on to the next topic, Matt mentioned Kurt Signetti earlier in his segment, and speaking of Kurt Signetti, I mean, we might have a new Kurt Signetti on our hands and JMU coach Bob Chesney. He is a popular coaching candidate in, some school searches. Some of the big schools that he's been linked to in recent weeks are UCLA and Penn State. So my question for you all is that where he go is one of those two schools where he goes, or is another school a serious candidate here? Ryan, I'll start with you.
I feel like I don't know if Penn State might be looking for like maybe a bigger name. And I looked up his age, because we're big about age and coaching searches. He's 48, so not super young, not super old. So I think he's right in the middle. And then if you take into account Kurt Signetti, I mean he's on the older side for sure. But I think he would, if he chose between those two, I think he would go like or UCLA would hire just because maybe they're really low on the list of good teams right now and they're just trying to elevate themselves one by one. But I mean, he's 129 and 51 record wise. He's got seven conference champions, and that's kind of distributed between D1, D2, D3. Um, and then he was 9-4 last year and won the Boca Raton Bowl, which one of the bowl so he has a bowl game
Wait,
under his belt. And then he's 9-1 this year with losing to the big bad Louisville Cardinals. So yeah, he's definitely a winner so far, and I think that he could go to a team like UCLA and prove that he's a very good coach and that he's Kurt Signetti 2.0, I guess.
Matt, do you have anything to rebuttal on that?
well, Ryan, what bowl is that again? Could you say that again?
Boca, Boca, Raton, Raton Bowl.
Uh, I don't mean to do this to you, but it's Raton. It's Boca Raton.
Okay, you know how many goofy names these bowl games have? Give me some slack,
Well,
okay?
I think Northcutt is a goofy name, to be fair.
But
You're
all right, Leslie. All right, Leslie.
gonna get you're
Stumped
gonna
him
get
on that
Allen
one.
involved here, Les. You're gonna get
I actually
Allen.
have backup. I have backup on that, you know who's listening right now?
Your dad?
Yeah. I have
Is he in the
backup.
other room?
I told him you were gonna get Allen.
He's not here. He's not here, but maybe
How is he listening right? How is he listening live if he's not here?
because we're talking about it right now and is going to be listening to the recording of this. So he's not listening right now. We don't have any live listeners, but
Well, that blows the magic. I'm
Right? No,
kidding.
no kidding. Just giving
Nobody's
away all our
listening to you.
secrets
What
here.
are you talking about?
Well, there's no more secrets. We're now officially an open book podcast.
yep, we were
I'm
live.
gonna
We
leave.
actually have an audience.
The audience is Bean.
Yeah, Bean is our audience. Speaking of which, here he is.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, his head disappeared. There he is. Now he's back.
He keeps getting lost in the background. That's the funniest part.
It is. He blends in so well. Getting back to Bob Chesney now. Yeah,
Yes.
this dude is kind of like the man of mystery in this cycle to me because it's incredible. Like Ryan said, their only loss is to Louisville, which is a very respectable loss. They, by all metrics and accounts, should be the group of five representative in the college football playoff. And I think they will be because the AAC teams can't help but cannibalize one another every week. So I think they'll end up there if they win the Sun Belt, and it's looking overwhelmingly like they're going to win the Sun Belt. And it's impressive how this guy's star has risen in like 2 years. I mean, it's weird to think about how much has changed, like not only globally but sports wise in the past 2 years. And that's one of them. This guy's only in his second year of coaching James Madison. He's already got them looking like they've been a traditional power since Kurt Signetti was there. So I think that Penn State will make a pretty good offer for this guy, for Bob Chesney. You just got to, like Ryan said, he's the perfect age to take a shot on because if it works, you're going to have the guy for the remainder of his coaching career, and that's going to be a long time. The dude is from the area. The dude has coached several Division Three, Division Two, and FBS teams in that kind of general vicinity, the Atlantic Coast. I mean, I know Penn State's kind of in the heartland of the good state of Pennsylvania, but still, it's a similar area. I think that's a really good move for a guy who's 18-5. excuse me, and from Pennsylvania originally, who's coached someone in the area. I think it's a good move. I think UCLA is going to make a push, but this dude is definitely an East Coast guy to me. This guy's an East Coast guy. I don't think that UCLA at the end of the day is going to have the one thing that counts, which is being at home. But I think it would be a great hire for Penn State. I know that they probably were hoping for like something a little more impressive, like to the sports fans. But the real ballers, I think will be very key on this move because this dude just knows how to coach. He's won everywhere he's been. He's kind of like younger Signetti, and that goes beyond that, I guess. Just being from James Madison, the working your way up through the ranks, immediately having success, being a winner everywhere you go, and being from that area. It's just a great combo to me. I think UCLA is going to push hard, but I think if Penn State wants this guy, they're going to get him. And I really do think that's a good move for them. I don't really know what signing a washed up ish coach will get you unless you can get someone like incredible. Like if you convince Urban Meyer to come back, you do that. I don't think that's going to happen. But that's like I think now if you're Penn State in the age of the NIL, you just get a good program builder, a guy who believes in his dudes, and then you can pay those dudes to come there. You just make that move. Make that move.
My biggest takeaway from this is that if Bob Chesney does go to whether it's UCLA, whether it's Penn State, or whether it's another school, and he has success, my biggest takeaway from this is if you are a powerhouse program or former powerhouse program and you are kind of on a downward spiral, if you are looking for a new coach, you got to look at JMU, whoever's coaching JMU first. Because
James
with
Madison.
Kurtz and Yeti, and if Bob Chesney turns out to be a really good coach, they're becoming like a AAA program for coaching hires.
Really, they are. The only question is, does Bob Chesney think his tractor's sexy?
That is the $1 million question. I will leave
No
that up to the
shoes.
fans.
If he goes to UCLA, is it a no shoes, no shirt, no problem
Well,
situation?
if he doesn't win, they'll have a lot of problems.
Eh,
Did Will Wade ever go through JMU?
no, unfortunately. That would be so funny if he
That
did,
would be
man.
perfect if he did.
Is it bad that I can only think of two Kenny Chesney songs?
You No, those are the same two I was thinking of.
Okay, good, good. I'm like, I know the dude has like 24 country number ones. And I can only think of like two.
Does he have?
I
I
just,
didn't know he had that many.
He played
oh yeah,
on
I thought he
game
was a
day
two-hit
the other
wonder,
week.
dead ass.
no, he's huge. He's got like a bunch of number ones. Oh, he did
He,
that one song about football that's kind of was sucky. I forgot about
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he played on game
boy.
day the other
Wasn't
week.
Boys a Fall?
Yeah, Ryan. Sorry, what were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. He played on game day the other week.
He did really.
Yeah.
I assumed he retired, like moved out, or I assumed he kind of became the new Jimmy Buffett, if that makes sense.
I mean, kind of. It does more for me. I don't know about Ryan. I mean, I don't think Ryan was born during the height of Jimmy Buffett's. Well, actually, I
Probably.
take that back. None of us might have been born during the height of
No,
Jimmy
no,
Buffett's career.
we were around for Margaritaville restaurants and Cheeseburger in Paradise when it was a thing, but other than that,
No,
Jimmy
the height
Buffett
of
always
Jimmy
kind of been
Buffett. Yeah, we weren't
everywhere.
even born for that. That's past our time.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to do Margaritaville karaoke.
Valid. Valid.
Speaking of people who may be wasting away again in Margaritaville, the ACC.
Absolutely. The ACC, the number one question surrounding that conference, as Matt talked about how they're kind of killing each other week in and week out. Are they in danger of missing the playoffs? I'll start with Ryan again on this one because he is the ACC fan representative on this podcast.
Am I?
That's true. I mean, yeah, Duke. I am a Duke fan.
Yeah.
I'm the only pure
But
Midwesterner
I'm
here.
asking the question, sir. So I'm talking about the two between it was between Ryan and Matt on that one. I'm asking the question.
Why didn't you ask Bean?
Bean isn't an ACC fan. Bean does not like Duke.
Well, who does Bean like?
Bean
I am a
likes any
massive fan of.
he likes
I am
every
a fan
school
of
with a
Georgia.
dog mascot. So like
He's a
he is a
Buffy
big
fan.
UConn basketball fan. He is a big Georgia football fan. He had a lot to say over Georgia kicked Texas's ass last week.
So does that mean that he's a Browns fan because they're like the only NFL team with a dog?
Yes.
Browns.
Oh no!
He is
Oh no!
so excited about Shadur Sanders starting.
You're gonna have to get Bean that jersey with all the quarterbacks on it.
How do you know he doesn't already have it?
Bean probably created that. He is a very intelligent
Bean is a
dog.
#1 Myles Garrett fan.
He
Miles
loves
Garrett.
paleontology too.
But yes, the answer is yes. The ACC is in danger of missing the playoff because they're kind of like the non-power forward team that's trying to get in. They just don't know who wants to go or who wants to do what. Georgia Tech is probably well. I mean, Virginia keeps losing. They're what 9-2 now, and so
Yep.
Georgia Tech keeps they have a chance to lose with playing Georgia at the end of the year. That would make them have two losses. So, yes, they have a huge danger in missing the playoffs. Louisville would have been there if we would have beat the teams that we were supposed to, like beat Jaren Kiwi, Sakapoa, Tele. That's talent, isn't it? Saying
Yes,
his
you got
name.
that down. You got good job,
I
Ryan.
have that down, I promise.
He's been practicing. I can tell.
It's a fun name to say. Just
It
like
is a fun
for
name
the
to say. Yes,
Broncos,
100% correct.
Talanoa Hufanga. That's a fun name to say. All right.
It
Uh,
is.
You can
Nobody's gonna
pronounce
tell.
that, but you can't pronounce Boca Raton.
you can't pronounce Kurt Signetti.
It's Kurt Signetti. Yes, I
I
can,
don't.
sir.
I don't think it is.
Okay, if I'm wrong, then Matt's wrong
What?
because Matt corrected me way
And
back in the day
Colin
and said it was
Simmons.
Signetti.
I think it's
Because
Sig.
okay, that's because a lot of Texas recruiting sites call him Colin Simons.
Well,
That's why I
they're
always said that.
they're not fan. They're not real fans, I guess, if they don't know his name.
They're not technically fans at all. They're reporters.
Well,
When you're a reporter, you're not supposed to be a fan.
well, if you're a reporter, you're supposed to know everything about the player. You should know his
I mean,
name.
yeah, that's valid.
But
It's
yeah,
okay. I still mess up and call him Tucker DeVires all the time. So
it's
that's not.
okay. See it that way too, but I don't call him that. It's okay. We all can have an English lesson. But yeah, Jaren Kiwi Sakapoa Tele, that's his name. Um, but yeah, ACC is a real danger in missing the playoff with really their only two hopes in being Georgia Tech and Virginia. And Georgia Tech almost just lost to Boston College. And so they still got to play Georgia, which is a very tough game. It's at Georgia Tech. So they could win. If they win that game, I think they're in pretty easily. If they lose, they're out, and the ACC unfortunately misses out. But James Franklin is coming for that spot in the next couple of years.
Matt, what do you have to add to that?
I think that Georgia Tech is probably the best shot, but I'm seeing a lot of smoke around Miami, and I'm like, I don't really know about that, guys. I think Miami is they're capable of winning, but they're just as capable as losing to Pittsburgh in the next week. So I don't think they're really in super danger. They're only going to get one team in, regardless. It's going to be whoever wins the conference championship game, whether that's Georgia Tech, Virginia, or I think Duke has an outside chance maybe to win that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Darn it.
No, they're kind of
Whether
shooting
that's
themselves in the
Duke,
foot.
whether that's Duke, Virginia, or Pittsburgh, I guess those
Or
are probably
backward.
Duke. Not Duke. Oh, whether that's Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, or Virginia, I don't know. That's going to be the only team in. The one thing I can say for sure is that I'm very happy that they got rid of the freaking like conference champions get the automatic buys thing, because I cannot imagine if the worst case happens and like 9-3 Virginia got a bye, everyone would be like so pissed off it wouldn't be funny.
No, I agree, but
Boca Raton, Rotund Bowl.
he's still on that. He's
I
like,
got
I
it
will
down.
not be denied here, sir.
I got it down
I'll
there.
be honest. Are they in? Or is the ACC in danger of missing the playoff? Absolutely. But honestly, if either Miami or Georgia Tech can win out, I think they can get one team in because the key here is that one of those Big 12 schools is going to lose. I mean, they're going to
Yeah,
have to. So I feel like if one of them can lose a game, that Miami's sitting at that number 13 spot right now. If they can control their own destiny, they can get in. But it is not looking good for the ACC because, as we've talked about on this podcast, they keep shooting themselves in the foot every week, losing games they're not supposed to. So no, the ACC, we thought they'd be a little bit better this year. In some ways, they have, but no, they're not looking.
it's
It's
been
not
a
looking good.
competitive league.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. It's all about perspective, I guess.
That's how we put it when we want to say you suck.
That's a very valid point. We say things the nice way. If we're gonna tell you we suck, I mean they suck, and we're gonna say it nicely.
Jesus loves you.
Jesus loves you. That is correct. Anyways, is there anything we want to add to college football before we move on to college basketball?
Mm,
Oh,
no.
the Pop Tart Bowl will have 6 Pop Tarts this year, so
That is all Matt cares about. The Pop-Tart Bowl has 6 Pop-Tarts.
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. That's all I know. There's 6 freaking Pop Tarts, man. One of them is gonna get eaten before our very eyes, and it's
Are
going to
they
be just
edible?
yeah.
All
The
6 are
costume
edible?
the costume isn't. And then they send it through a machine like they're toasting it, and out comes a giant edible one. It's a spectacle, man. It's better than the college football playoffs. Screw the 12-team playoff. Give me 12 Pop Tart bowls,
That's
each one
where
with more Pop Tarts than the last.
Texas can go try it out for us.
We can. That's where we're headed right now. So
Arch
that's
Manning
what we
needs
have
to
to
get
look
back.
out for. Yes,
Arch Manning can get himself a Pop
Is going.
Tart.
We
Arch Manning
need
eating the Pop-Tart mascot is going to feed families. That
we
That's
need
gonna be
this.
people's lock screens.
it is. It might even be mine.
Yeah.
Eli Manning runs out and steals some for himself, just like he does on those Jersey Mike's
It's
commercials.
gonna be oh, what's his name? Paul Feinbaum's lock screen.
No, that's if Alabama gets sent there.
Hmm. Well, he also has been standing Arch Manning a lot this year too.
He just can't make up his mind. He's in love with so many women, by which I mean SEC football programs.
I was gonna say, where are you going with that? I
Oh,
mean,
He's choosing between his suitors. It's like Dracula, the novel.
one of my friends actually got on Feinbaum's show, like he called in and he finally got chosen, but he didn't really debate him, but it was kind of cool that he got on there.
yeah, it's so cool he got on.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes when
just
you're on hold for like so long, you forget what you're about to talk about.
Yeah. Just gotta
I
write it down.
I mean,
I
I'm
was
not gonna lie. There was a time when I was younger that if I would have tried to call into one of those shows, I would have waited so long. I would have lost my train of thought, and I just would have got on there and been like, you know what? You're bald. Deal with it.
That's exactly what I would have done. I would have waited and then just put on the bald clip from the SpongeBob movie. Bald, 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 my eyes, bald, bald.
All right, I love it. I love it. Anyways,
Uh,
I think we're going to transition to some college basketball because Feast Week is coming up. You know, some of the most exciting early season matchups, right in just in time for Thanksgiving, Friday, and all the other holiday madness that's going to go on next week. We have some great Feast Week matchups, including some of the tournaments. You know, of course, I'm going to be locked into that ACC SEC challenge with Duke taking on Arkansas. But what is some of the best tournaments that are going to be available for us to watch? Ryan, I will start with you.
I think the best tournament is going to be the Players Era one, which is
Hmm.
Las Vegas. Let me go back. Some of the teams that are in it: Iowa State, Creighton. You got Syracuse, Kansas, St. John's, Baylor, Tennessee, Houston. You got Michigan, Auburn. You got Maryland, Gonzaga. I mean, there are so many teams in that. It's down in Las Vegas, and I feel like that might be the first year they've done it. But
And it is.
this is I mean, this team, this is absolutely loaded with that kind of one of those classics in college basketball. But you also got the Terry's Chocolate ESPN Events Invitation, and that is BYU Miami. And you got Duke, Arkansas, you got North Carolina, Michigan State. I mean, there's so many classics, but definitely the Players Era I think is the most loaded one.
No, it 100% is. And of course, when it kicks off with Alabama versus Gonzaga, I mean, that you got to be locked in automatically on that one. And even on the women's side, you know, Duke and Texas, South Carolina, UCLA, I mean, that's a great matchup in its own. Even though I think Duke's about to lose by 40 to South Carolina, but that's neither here nor there. Texas and UCLA should be a good game, though.
you never know what happens with those women games. You'll either get an instant classic or it's going to turn into a blowout.
Yeah,
But when
Duke
you get an
has
instant
not lived
classic,
up to expectations this year. I mean, I was so hyped coming into the year. Toby Fournier, sophomore year, she's finally starting. And, you know, Kara Lawson teams, offensively, they've always kind of struggled, but they've always been able to rely on their defense. But the problem is their defense hasn't been there this year.
Yep,
So,
it's true.
but
I watched.
anyways, as we talk about the number one tournament to watch, Matt has probably a slew of tournaments that we're not talking about that we should be talking about. So, Matt, take it away.
It is true. It is true. And I'm going to talk about a series because this really freaking blew my mind at first. Because if you thought the Players Tournament had a lot of Players Era had a lot of teams involved, I thought at first the Acusure tournament was one tournament with like 28 teams. And I was like, how the hell are they pulling that off? But it's not. It's divided into many small tournaments, but there are some good ones. The Holiday Invitational is one I come to mind first. You've got San Jose State and Tulsa and Northern Iowa and Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago desperately needs to play well in this tournament because they have been the most disappointing team in the country to me by far this season. But they're not going to get it because they're playing Northern Iowa in the first round. And Northern Iowa, one of those teams out of the Missouri Valley that's sneaky, devastatingly good. You need to keep an eye on Northern Iowa going forward because they're going to surprise some people when the calendar turns to March. It's going to be really good. Then in another Acusure thing, this I forget which one this is. You've got St. Louis and Santa Clara, underrated game in the semifinals. There, Santa Clara is going to get bigly overshadowed by St. Mary's and Gonzaga in the WCC. But I think they have a very good squad. They have just as good of a chance as others, and they could steal one from one of those two big games. And then you have Minnesota and Stanford in the lower bracket. Minnesota, weird team. I don't really think they're like great, but they've definitely been more entertaining than I thought they would be. But of course, the story is going to be Robbie Avila and the St. Louis Billikens, and I think they will win that. But they're going to be great in the A10. And what can you say when Robbie Avila is playing? The guy's still Larry Nerd. He's still going to be fun to watch. You got to watch that game. And the final one in that Acusure series actually features a lot of those beloved major squads. Iowa faces Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been playing above expectations. Iowa plays Bennett Sturts until his legs fall off, and you know I love that. I think Iowa will face off with Grand Canyon, and Iowa will end up winning that because, well, they're just a really fun team to watch. People were worried about how the pace would translate from Drake to Iowa. It's translated well. I know they're playing Bennett Sturts like 90 minutes a game. He's going to be fine. And then going back to something Ryan hinted at, ESPN has like 3 tournaments this year too, and they all have like weird names. So the 2025 ESPN Events Adventure bracket is one I'm really watching because that's got arguably the best mid-major team in the country in Liberty. The Flames are facing Vermont. We all know what Vermont's capable of. They're a powerhouse every year up in the America East. They're really good. Rhode Island out of the A10, another very good team. We know who they're coached by. We don't have to lower the microphone for that. Temple plays UC San Diego. UC San Diego, if you'll remember that from last year, almost pulled up a great upset, then got maybe cheated by the officials. You didn't hear it from me. And then the lower region of that is a game that's also like a desperation game to me, and why I'm going to be tuned into it on Monday is because we've got Princeton and Bradley. Bradley, again, another Missouri Valley team that's come out of the gate a little weaker than everyone expected. They really need a strong performance in this tournament, and I think they'll get it to rewrite their season so far because it's been a little bit of a disappointment. So those, the Acusure series and the ESPN Invitational series, are my brackets that you really don't hear much about, but need to be watching.
I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way so we can have 4 minutes of our bull session to end the podcast. As always, like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channels to get the latest updates we have on new content coming out. Be sure to follow the social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Threads. That's at Less is More Sports. Be sure to follow the side quest on TikTok. That's at BeansDad018. And we got about 4 minutes left, so we just going to BS for the rest of the episode because that's what we do here on the Less is More Sports podcast. Also, Matt, I don't think bigly's a word.
The president uses it.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
I knew I'd get you with that one.
You didn't get me. There's something I'm not gonna say on the podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family podcast till someone says something political.
You mean it's not a family? It's not a family podcast until someone says something political.
That's also
then
true.
It becomes a family podcast.
That's very true. Now it's Thanksgiving. We're all going to scream at each other. I will say that the one thing that shocks me the most about all this is how and I don't know how Ryan will care about this at all because I don't remember. I don't know how if he remembers the glory days, even though last year's tournament was great. Maui, man, it kind of died with Bill Walton. It's
Love
appropriate.
Maui.
It's not the same without Bill Walton.
No,
Yeah.
and the team and they keep getting less and less intriguing teams. And I'm sorry to say that about Texas, but after last year's field and you look at the fields coming up, it's like the Players era really snatched that chain.
No, it really did.
They
And I'm
put
okay with that because that's just the way things progress. But I never thought I'd see the day where like Maui was like the fourth, maybe fifth best tournament out of all of them. It's just
Well,
wild.
they used to be like for years what the players
Green
era
Meter,
is this year. Yeah.
yeah,
Them and
and
I'll,
now
I'll be honest that what was disappointing to me was the Battle for Atlantis lineup because I mean that was another one during the feast week that we would always tune into, but that's not doesn't look like that's that intriguing this year. Players era just came in and chose violence is the only way I know how to put it.
yeah, I think Maui went down whenever they put Kenny Payne in Maui in 2022.
No, it's
Kenny
all Kenny
Payne,
Payne's fault.
the one
He
guy who
brought the
didn't
pain.
use that,
If you all saw Arkansas their fight, you look on
Winthrop.
the bench, the only person that's sitting
He's
on the
just
bench
sitting
is
there.
Kenny Payne, not doing
Sitting there just
anything.
smiling the whole time. Just
He's like, man, he's literally that LeBron James meme. I can't believe this is my
Yeah.
life.
And the guy who got in a fight um
Oh yeah, I know this
with
guy
Nick
well.
Pringle is Logan Duncombe, who
I know that guy
Lipscomb coming to
well.
Indiana a couple
He
years
was
ago.
he was not great.
He was number 51.
I know. I watched Lipscomb during the Field of 68 opening tip-off tournament. I was like, is that Logan friggin' Duncombe? He's
Yeah.
still eligible? What the hell,
Logan
man?
friggin' Duncombe.
Logan
What a
friggin' Duncombe.
legend. He's the Indiana legend.
Well, he was legendary for some things.
Yeah, for not playing.
Yeah.
He was the
Whatever
next
Logan
Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to play much when you've got Trace Jackson Davis on the team. But still, I'm glad he's found a niche. But still, I was like, Logan
Yeah,
freaking
for
Duncombe?
fighting. He found a niche for fighting.
And Nick Pringle is like the last person. Well, now Trayvon Brazil is probably like the least person on Arkansas you want to fight.
I
But
feel
Nick
like
Pringle's also up there.
his arms are so long he can reach you from like 8 feet away.
Yeah, he'll
It's
hit you
like
before you even
playing
get
Mr.
close enough.
Fantastic. But yeah, Kenny Payne just sitting there watching this whole thing go down. He's like, they probably went over. I need to coach
It
overtime if everyone gets ejected.
it kind of reminded me of Ryan Day after the Michigan game last year.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah. He didn't do anything during
He
that.
just stood there and stared the whole time. I mean, you expect your coach to jump in and separate it. He's just staring there, just blank
I'm
face
willing
and
to
all.
forgive that one a little more because you've got like a massive sea of humanity with pepper spray and helmets. It's not quite the same as getting between a bunch of dudes wearing basketball jerseys, You can get hit with a helmet and get pretty,
You still expect your coach to do something.
Well, people
well,
are
he
getting
didn't
pepper
stare.
sprayed. Imagine.
Ugh. Getting pepper sprayed as a coach is probably like the most embarrassing. That's probably more embarrassing to